Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to CCxRC. In this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're kind of doing it sitting down, doing it podcast style. I just want to do a little bit of an update after the last video where the King of RC came in and totally just torched the Traxxas Bigfoot 4x4. I'm kind of mad at my kids because they told me this was a monster truck, and this is just a car with big tires on it. I mean, I don't want to live in a world where monster trucks aren't solid axle. I don't even know what this garbage is right here. Can't even backflip. What in the world? I just wanted to come on and say, first off, that's just a character that's being played, but the Traxxas Bigfoot 4x4 actually is pretty decent. Like it ran really good. Now the King of RC expects things to be monster trucks and to perform like monster trucks, but overall, as an RC car, it handled really good. It has a cool body on it. Looks like Bigfoot, so that's a win. They're coming out as a starter car, which is something for me to get used to a little bit again. Don't run much 2S anymore, so I actually had to buy a 2S battery to run in it because I did not have anything that would be compatible with Traxxas in 2S. So there's a lot that kind of is different for me. Most of the time I'm running 3S, 4S, 6S, but usually 3S. That's usually kind of like the sweet spot for me in a lot of the cars. I like the 3S lineup. We've been running the 4S's, I still kind of like that more than 6S because I don't really have the huge 6S packs. One, they're really expensive. Two, the 6S the other way is doing like two batteries, having two of them charged up and ready to go. It's not that hard to do, especially if it's your only thing and that's what all you're doing is getting ready to run that. That's one thing. There's something about the simplicity of just dropping in one of those 3S or 4S batteries that I have into a car and running it that I just like. They go about the same speed. So it's not a speed thing. The size of them, the weight of them, just carrying them around. They don't land the same because they're not as heavy. They're a little bit more toyish in some ways because of the lack of weight in them. But I don't know. It's just kind of where I found for me just going out and playing. That's kind of what I reach for. I reach for 3S ones, 4S now. The Mojave 4S I reach for like nonstop. That thing's super wicked. Speaking of 2S, I do actually run the 2S for the Pro Moto, but also for the Super Baja Ray. I haven't done the switch on that yet. One, because it goes pretty fast on 2S for the type of vehicle it is, and I'm not trying to destroy that beautiful heat wave. I'm not treating that like a typical basher. So we are running that one on 2S, actually, now I think about it. But for the most part, when I'm bashing, I'm wanting to run 3S. So, there was a little bit of a woof, like I was kind of in my mind thinking of it being more like a granite or a big rock. But I'm running on 3S. So there wasn't the power there that I was kind of hoping for. But overall, I mean, if you were to upgrade it to 3S, I bet it would be pretty cool. And I might do that. I've got some I've got some Castle systems sitting in some of the monster trucks back there, like the old SMT 10s. I might actually steal one out of there. I actually have like a case of motors sitting over on the other side of the camera here on the back shelf that I have behind my desk area that I could put in there that are 3S. And actually, I have some 3S motors that I'd bought. I do have a Spectrum one that I have full setup that I was going to put into an LMT. So I could put that in as well. So I've got options that I could stick in there to upgrade it and go faster. I'm going to run it as it is. I think one of the cool things about it is when we have kids come over that are my friends or my son's friends, not my friends, my son's friends, or some of my friends' kids, I can hand it to them. So one of the things that I have a hard time remembering is when they come over, I just want to give them what I think is great. And I've learned to drive over years of running them, and they just break them. Like they don't know what to do when it's in the air. They keep holding on the trigger. They do a whole bunch of things that just ruin the cars. And so something like this, even over, I would say one of the Arma 3Ss. I mean, I could give them a 2S pack in it and hand it to them. I just don't. But with this, I could, it's just like, hey, here's this cool, this Traxxas 4x4 Bigfoot. They've never run the faster one, so they don't know this is faster than what they've got. So I think they think it's pretty cool. So it, it's not what the king said about it. We'll just say that he may have gave it a little bit of a bad rap, but it really isn't a bad car. And the pricing is, it's a little high. It's 350. You could get a granite for that. You could get a big rock for that in the Armor lineup. You could get something 3S. So if that's really what you're wanting is speed, the thing that you do have with the Traxxas is you're going to get parts for it everywhere, right? So they're pretty durable, and they're easy to upgrade, get parts for. This is the 4-wheel drive one, so there's a little bit more involvement with that. But showing you here, I do have the page pulled up in their lineup. I think I was probably expecting it to handle more like this Stampede that I've seen. Where is it? This one, which is no. They have the Stampede that is a somehow I flipped the way that they're priced. It's going the opposite way. I must have done something to make that happen. Usually I thought it was lowest price first. I was probably thinking it was this Stampede. That is their VXL, the original Stampede VXL, which is a VXL 3S. And so I think probably in my mind, that's more what I was expecting from it, is from what I've seen people doing with this. So yeah, just there was a little brain disconnect there. And honestly, for what the King is, it's not it didn't handle it all like a monster truck. The fact that it couldn't backflip, it has a wheelie bar but doesn't wheelie, not easily at least. There was a couple times I did later get it to hook up on the asphalt if it was a part that was like really cracked up and it could get those tires to grip. But you'd think in sand or in grass where there's some high traction there, something to grip into with the tires that it would, but it just pulls forward, which is great. I mean, it means that the handling is awesome. So if you want to race it, do that kind of thing with it, it'd be awesome for that. Oh, that's a cool new thing that they've got coming. Getting ready to podcast a little bit about that new pro scale sand car. But yeah, just the BL2S system. But you can't run 3S with it. To upgrade is about $190 if you do it through the Traxxas VXL 3S. You could get into a 3S ESC and motor cheaper outside of Traxxas for sure. For sure. But yeah, I mean it's a decent RC. So I didn't want to be too down on it. So here's their big cool page for it. Now I will say that I do understand, like I said in the video, see they didn't get wheels up. Why they probably did it at a skate park for some of the cool air and tricks and stuff. Because it doesn't have the power to really do it. Even when I was watching RC Driver's video on it, well, she did a great video on it. He was doing it over some doubles, and it can do that. It's got enough speed. If you've got a big enough jump, it will get, it'll be able to clear some stuff. It just doesn't have that extra power that you would be looking for to do some tricks and stuff with it. But overall, pretty rad. I like the clip system. It's a little trickier than I thought to find out where to line it up and get it in place and to snap it in. But I do like how it works. But yeah, here's where they're kind of detailing out some of the stuff with their system. And they do have a few things. So it's saying hex hardware, heavy duty suspension arms. Those should be pretty bulletproof for the most part. Yeah, I think it's all pretty stout for the speed, especially that you're going with it. It should hold up pretty well to some bashing at the speed of this, and the body as well. Like I was saying, you're not going to go destroying it. So it's really not a bad price compared to the other one. And before you either had the brushless version or the brushed version. And so I still think it's a step up from all of that. And anyway, I just wanted to get on here and say something about it, because I know that, charactering it up about a super monster truck guy, it's not super monster truck in the handling, but it's a great RC in the way that it handles. So on that side, they nailed it, right? So it handles and performs really good. So I just wanted to make sure that there was another video of me out here saying it's not all monster truck, but it's on the RC front, it's pretty all right. And it's not the fastest one that you could go out and get, but I mean, the actual performance of it for what it is and at the speed that you're going, pretty good. I'm going to be building some bigger jumps in the yard here, and we'll be able to make it. If I have a bigger takeoff, it'll do bigger air. And so we're going to start building up a few bigger jumps again for when I'm out there running. I do love just the small hits, just for the fun factor of me going out and running. I do like having those several little jumps in a row and just kind of coming back and forth and hitting the way that it's set up. But I'll on the sides probably put a few larger jumps that we can do to really send it with some of these cars. But yeah, I give it a thumbs up. It's not actually terrible. So anyway, just wanted to set the record straight, because the King of RC was kind of a downer on it, which to his character, it is a bit of a downer and a letdown for him. But for me, it's just somebody that runs RCs and has fun. It's pretty all right. And you can definitely upgrade it. It's a great starting point, is what I'd say. It's a good place to start. And I'd say the same thing on, a lot of the Arma 3Ss and whatever. They're good starting points. You strap a 2S in there or slide the little limiter on the throttle and get going to learn how to drive it, and then just, upgrade or turn it up from there. So anyway, thanks for tuning in as always, guys. Hope you're having fun RCing. We'll catch you next time.